Bentornati al corso d'italiano. Welcome back. Make sure you submit this video by Wednesday night in at least one complete sentence and ask any questions that you might have in this assignment. Also make sure you are completing and submitting your SuperSite exercises that have been assigned. Make sure you're not late with those. And make sure you do them till you score 100% on them. Italian family vocabulary. This week we're going to be studying vocabulary that has to do with the family. So open the video tutorial assignment and study the assigned pages in the textbook and complete the assignment. Answer the questions and submit the assignment. Possessive adjectives, another video tutorial. Possessive adjectives are adjectives, and to refresh you, since we studied adjectives a while back, an adjective in Italian must agree, the ending of the adjective must agree in gender some of the time and in number all of the time with the noun that it's modifying. So remember the difference between adjectives that have four endings, per esempio, bello, buono, laborioso, studioso. Those have four endings. And intelligente, grande, importante, for example, they only have two endings. So if you need to go back and refresh your memory on adjectives, please do so. And possessive adjectives in English correspond to my, your, his, her, our, y'all's, their. And so you will be learning about those this week in the video tutorial. One thing to note about possessive adjectives, they do not agree with the person that is possessing the object or the other person. Instead, they agree, their ending agrees with the object or person possessed. So it's a little bit different concept perhaps than what you're familiar with, but keep an open mind and study possessive adjectives. If you have questions, please submit them in the assignment itself. Distance learning activity number 16, una persona nella tua famiglia. This activity asks you to choose a person in your family and talk about him or her. Answer in complete sentences in Italian, and please come up with your answers by yourself. Do not simply write them in English and then plug them into a translator to get the answer. Once again, your grade will not be as high if you choose to use a translator. It will be significantly lower. Use what you have studied, verbs and adjectives and things like that. Use those things to help you come up with your answers. Distance learning activity 17, places to see in your Italian region. This distance learning activity focuses on what do people go to your region to see and do? So find some things. I hope you find things in your region that interest you. And don't just find the first 5 things that come up on Google. But choose some things that you would be interested in actually doing or seeing when you go to your region. If you like museums, find some museums. If you like outdoor activities, look for outdoor activities to do in your region. I want this distance learning activity in particular to be centered around things that you would actually do, because the trip that you're going to be taking at the end for your final video is a trip that you would like to take, not a trip that you would be planning for somebody else. Coming up, we have an individual one-on-one conversation, you and me, online. And so the next assignment in this week you will see is the Conversation with Professor guidelines. Open it. The guidelines are not that many. It's an open-ended conversation, 4 minutes that we will have in Italian online, like I said, at a date and time that you will sign up for in a couple of weeks. And this conversation is unscripted. So most importantly, I don't want you to have note cards. I just want you to use what you've learned and practice some questions. Practice using verbs in sentences, are, ere, and eventually IRE verbs. And I've given you some tips on how you can practice in these guidelines. So open that and please ask me any questions that you have about this upcoming assignment. The wiki page is next, where you will sign up on the wiki page for a particular date and time to have our conversation online. So the dates and times are given. Only if you are not available at any of the date and times given will I let you make an individual appointment with me outside of the date and times that are given. But please, if you can, try to work your schedule around one of these dates and times. This wiki page is a first come, first serve. So whoever signs up for that date and time first gets it. So the earlier you go on to the wiki page and sign your name up and your email address, the better time you might get for your schedule. Once again, the weekly forum. Don't forget about that. And think about class participation when you think about the weekly forums. Allora, buoni studi, arrivederci.